and the Judge Rosemary Collyer, she said in her opinion statement that she feels sorry for the people of Taiwan. They are stateless. That shocked to me, actually. That actually confirmed to what we started since 2004. And the lawsuit we filed in 2006, it confirmed in 2008. So of course the group keep continuing going on. So we sent it to the appeal court. And appeal court, as I said, that 3 judges sat on the table and then interviewed they had a debate, the US attorney and then our attorney, they debated each other. And the whole room packed with about 150 Taiwanese from all over the world. We packed the whole room, and of course we can bring in the camera, but it's all packed. And the debate is about 40 minutes there. It's a good debate, and that's the first time in the history that Taiwanese can witness how the American judicial system get involved in this. And the judge is really shocked. It's really the 3 judges of them, and Mrs. Judge Brown is the chief of the 3 of the panel, and she kept asking the attorney from the United States, saying, I think I told you yesterday already, say, well, that the executive department can change any term and a clause of the international treaty made by the United States. Of course not, because those all been ratified by Congress and state and Senate, right? So in other words, that the San Francisco Peace of Treaty still valid. You say yes, okay. So talk about the principal occupying power. Would that turn into United States own the sovereignty of Taiwan? And there are questions. It's very interesting. I can forward you the whole complete statement of the dialogue inside the court, because it's public. One section of the conversation is the attorney from the United States saying, I'm shaking, after so many questions to that from the judge. And the judge told her, you're in trouble. Yeah, that is very exciting and interesting story. So after that, in Bay Area, every year in April, just before the San Francisco Peace Treaty become enforced, April 28, Taiwanese community has a gathering, has a discussion. On the September 8th, just the day signed the peace treaty, we also had another gathering. So every time we talk, we discuss about the San Francisco Peace Treaty. Meantime, we also spend a lot of time to study the Taiwan Relation Act, and that's convinced me more and more, and step by step, that the United States actually has a very clear policy. It's just because the people in Taiwan, they don't understand. Just like what I pointed out on the letter yesterday, that which is probably it's good for you. I actually mentioned to Director Fu last night. I said, you better go back to read the Taipei Times. It was they published one of my letters. And the letter, the title, the headline is the Taiwan Not Power Policy. And it's been reported, and I think by now it's over 1,000 people read it. And my article last time, it's about, I think, almost 3,000 people read it. A lot of people respond to it. It's more and more clear to Taiwan's people. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. And one interesting thing that CK mentioned earlier is that there's a group of people in the United States and in Taiwan also. They send a representative in Washington, D.C. His name is, last name is Lin Dexin. He's the only guy can visit State Department officially. You know, he can get in there anytime. And then, of course, he had an appointment, okay? And they accept him to get into the office. And one time, last year, I believe in September, the Joseph Wu, he used to be the DPP's official representative in Washington, D.C. He had a breakfast meeting just like this. We had about 30 people get together and interview just like this, same thing. So it's my turn, okay? So I asked him, I said, well, welcome to the area. And then I just have one question, very short question. I say, right now there's an official representative in Washington, D.C. from Taiwan, okay? It's Mr. Kim, right? What is different for your office in Washington, D.C.? The DPP also set up another office there. What you can do to company? And my understanding, there's another representative, I mean Mr. Lin, that's from the Taiwan government. Lin Dexin, yeah. He has an office in Washington, D.C. Yeah. Okay. And I asked him, in your service in Washington, D.C., do you have a chance to visit State Department? No, of course not. They don't have official meeting with the State Department. Even Mr. Kim, he has no chance to visit. But how come not a small potato, you know, not even recognized by anyone else, but he can visit it? So it's very interesting dialogue. And of course he can answer. He just confirmed this is true because he has no chance to visit what State Department. So my conclusion, getting short, is that I realized that U.S. policy is so clear. It indicated inside the Taiwan Relation Act. That's just the terminology. Taiwan include Republic of China. Taiwan include the governing authority, which is the name called Republic of China back into prior to the 1979. But it no longer exists. But what the dilemma is that the people in Taiwan, well, get into an election. They say, we are elect a president of Republic of China. While they go out, even Ma and Joe come to the United States. They say, I'm Taiwan's president. And everyone calls him Taiwan's president. But while they go back to there, they say, no, I'm the, whoever even mentioned you're a Taiwan president, you could be in trouble because they don't recognize it. Yeah, so that's how we are here, you know, in the community. There's a lot of discussion and it's going on. Yeah. So we'd like to hear your story.
Well, the first thing I would say is that I don't agree with the State Department's policy. I think the State Department's policy, they draw a line and differentiate between people who are government officials and ones who are not. But it's a very, even though I don't like the State Department policy, I can recognize, I think we can all recognize that the policy in Washington is very pro-Taiwan. And there's a good demonstration of it just this year when the former Vice President, Vincent Xiao, was in Washington. You know, he was here.
Yeah, right. I
never here. And that was an example of how the very pro-Taiwan policy of the American government is exercised as long as they can say, well, he's no longer in an official position.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But obviously, an important person who has been democratically elected to an important position in Taiwan, and who has the respect of American people, the American government. And so, you know, there is progress. It's not as fast as we want. It's not as much as we want. But I feel good about it. And I think that when we discuss issues like sovereignty, there are a lot of issues, legal, political, and other, to debate. But to me, it comes back to the fact that sovereignty over Taiwan rests, and again, I'll quote Abraham Lincoln, it's government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Sovereignty is with the people of Taiwan. I don't think it's in U.S. hands. I darn sure don't think it's in PRC hands. I think it's in the hands of the Taiwan people, and how the people of Taiwan ultimately decide democratically to resolve their issues is really Taiwan's business.
You know,